In this Videonet interview at IBC 2019, I'm with Anish Rajaram, who's the CEO at Vewd. Hello, Anish.
Hi, John.
Now, obviously, for pay TV, getting onto devices and the user experience you can deliver on all of those devices is absolutely at the heart of everything now. I mean, your company ships software on tens of millions of devices a year. So what do you see as the big things we need to think about right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're seeing is, as a macro phenomenon, streaming television and hybrid television is making its way into living rooms around the world. And there are more and more players getting interested in the living room equation and wanting to be in front of the end consumer there with their solution. So the way we're seeing it is every market is unique. Every piece of hardware that's in the living room is unique. So every flavor that we need to cater to has a unique profile. So we're building software and solutions, of course, to address any operating system, any silicon provider that exists out there, as well as any combination of hardware profile for the specific markets. And I think that will be the way forward as more and more players try to enter this game and take control of that living room.
Okay, so we need much more flexibility, and one option that we're hearing a bit more about again is the idea of the virtual set-top box. And HBB TV have what looks like a very viable approach to that with their operator app. And you have a solution for that as well. So just tell us, what that is and what your solution for it is.
Sure. So what we're seeing is that operators are getting increasingly interested in launching their service in new device form factors. So traditionally, what they would launch on a set-top box, or lately trying to launch on streaming media devices, they want to bring also to the universe of smart TVs, which represents a great opportunity for the operator. So we're also the beneficiary of standard groups such as hybrid broadcast television or HBB TV, which have developed unique ways for operators to actually come on a standard basis and deploy their entire operator experience on a smart TV. So we're seeing that world sort of merge now, operators starting to actually develop HBB TV applications to launch them at scale in partnerships with smart TV manufacturers as well as set-top box manufacturers. And finally, what that really brings for the operator is the need in a particular household to potentially ship one set-top box less, which of course is a big investment that they've traditionally had to take, but still deliver a great experience and service to the end consumer in the living room.
Okay, and then your solution for that is Vewd Core, is that right?
It's the building block of everything we do is Vewd Core, but around Vewd Core we've had to put a whole bunch of new software. So we've built a media player, we've built a hybrid broadcast TV module. We've also had to build new modules to support these new use cases such as op apps, media sync, companion screen. So there are layers above Vewd Core which all come together and are delivered to our hardware partners to enable what the operators ultimately want to do on those devices.
Okay, now IBC, you announced a pre-integration on a silicon, which is Arian for their set-top boxes.
That's right. So Arian is one of the leading set-top box manufacturers in Korea. And they are extremely bullish about the European market and the opportunities it offers for free-to-air television. So when they're launching set-top boxes through retail channels, the ability for them to partner up with operators around standards like HBB TV op app is phenomenal, because then you can get a new experience to the end consumer in record time. So we're excited about that partnership and rolling it out across Europe.
Okay, and then if you want to keep deploying set-top boxes, which is, I guess, still the majority of the market, what are the options then? Let's start with the next generation box. I mean, how can we deliver a great experience, but maybe more cost effectively than in the past, perhaps?
Right, so I mean, I think the macro phenomenon we're seeing there is twofold, which traditionally we've known as, or not so traditionally, but recently known as cord cutting and cord nevers. So let's start with the cord never. So I think what you're referring to as well is these new breed of subscribers, potential subscribers that are coming in for their first pay TV subscription potentially, but are seeing that the experiences delivered by the operators are quite substandard. So we think there's a market here where operators should launch a new breed of boxes or new forms of hardware which are more appealing for those consumer segments. For example, we've announced at this show a partnership with AM Logic. AM Logic is a global market leader in the OTT device segment for the SoCs that they provide. And we've pre-integrated Vewd OS, our turnkey experience, which the operators can then white label and license on AM Logic chipsets. So any hardware manufacturer can then bring these modern streaming media or sticks and dongles type of experiences into the living room with the operator. So that's the way forward, apart from them improving their traditional middleware UX to do more streaming television within it.
Okay, and what does the pre-integration achieve in terms of, for the operator?
Yeah, so largely it's a time to market advantage. So these subscribers, potential subscribers in new demographics are coming thick and fast into new homes, and operators need to launch solutions at lightning speeds now. So the pre-integration helps them do that. So we have the full system, the back office running on AM Logic chipsets, series of hardware partners that adopt those AM Logic 905X chipset, for example. And the operator then simply needs to customize the solution that they want to deploy on our cloud and bring it to market in less than a year. So we're quite excited about that.
Okay, and then for what we might call the entry-level set-top box market, what's your solution for that?
Right, and it's the entry level as well as I think cord cutters as a phenomenon. So entry level in emerging markets where pay TV is actually growing. So in Asia Pacific, we're actually seeing pay TV growth because there are new increased purchasing power coming into certain consumer segments that are now able to afford a pay TV subscription. But the type of hardware you need to ship to that consumer segment is extremely entry-level, low-cost hardware, which traditionally could not have a streaming television experience on it. So we announced a partnership with Ali, a Taiwanese-based silicon vendor that is the market leader globally for the entry-level segment. And we announced the partnership with our product that we call Vewd Atom, which essentially is an ultra-thin, lightweight client that resides in the set-top box, where we virtualize all of the OTT experience, the streaming television experience in the cloud, and we deliver that experience as a stream to the set-top box. So now these entry-level segments as well, which are tens of millions of homes, can get access to a great streaming television experience alongside the pay TV experience. That can also work on legacy set-top boxes, which are not so entry-level, but in order to reduce subscriber churn, operators can actually introduce a handful of, let's say, streaming apps to those devices. So they don't need to churn the subscriber over to a new streaming OTT experience device.
So you can get your entire population onto a really upgraded user
experience. That's right, absolutely.
Yeah, that idea that nobody gets left behind.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so if we look ahead, where do you think this goes next? I mean, with virtual set-top box being talked about again, do you think that people will slowly move over to that, or will all the set-top box options remain?
We think both worlds are going to exist. So back to the APAC story, that APAC growth is going to happen on entry-level set-top boxes, and the experiences that can be delivered on those boxes need to improve. It will still be a combination of linear television delivered over cable or satellite, complemented by IP. But in the developed markets where there's better broadband, more 5G coming on board in the coming years, there's going to be new experiences that need to be delivered to the consumer at their terms. That's going to be across multiple devices. And there could be a shift gradually taking place from traditional set-top boxes to apps on multiple different devices managed by a cloud. So both worlds will exist. I don't think we're going to see a one world situation in the next 5 to 10 years, I would say. But the gradual shift is happening today in developed markets.
Okay, so that full range of options is obviously essential.
Correct.
And, okay, well, thank you very much for telling us about it. That was great to hear all that.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.